All right. Let's check everything here. Okay, I think that's sounding good. Hope everybody's doing all right out there. Last weekend was the Chicago Comics and Entertainment Expo, C2E2 as they say. So that will be, I was there. I was tabling at the show. I'm still a little tired. It was a long weekend. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of show off a few of the things that I got at the show and, mention some of the folks that I met and some of the nice interactions that I got to have. And then after that, I might just finish up this little cable doodle that I was working on just for fun. Because unfortunately, all the pages that I'm working on are very much spoilery pages for Iron Coffin. But yeah, I was goofing off with this cable, and I was just thinking, like, earlier tonight I was like, man, should I draw something for the stream? And I was like, man, I haven't drawn cable in a while. So, and for some reason I drew them really tiny here. So we'll kind of see what we do with that. All right. There we go. Okay. Sounds like everything sounds good. If that changes, I know y'all will let me know. All right. So first thing I was going to mention was Fantastic Four fanfare. So I mentioned this on some earlier streams, and anybody who follows me knows that I was able to. I got the opportunity to do a short Fantastic Four story in Fantastic Four fanfare number 4. Which I had no idea that they were going to do a trade of it. They didn't mention it to me or anything, but this comp just showed up today, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" So this is the collection of the whole. I guess it was a 4-issue series. So it's got a lot of great, cool creators in it. Where's the credits page here? Who we got here? Ramon Rosanas, Marcos Martin, Ron Friends, Hollingsworth, Alan Davis. Mike Allred, Dustin Weaver, Mark Bagley. Really stacked, and then, hey, look at that. There's me right there, Tyrell Cannon, with my old pal Dan Warren Johnson and Iñaki Azpiazu. It's really cool, guys, that I get to be in kind of this collected version as well, and our story is the last one in the collection, and I think that's pretty cool. I think it's cool to be the last, the final story that readers get to end with, and it printed really nice. This story was really fun, and I had some of the pages from this with me at the at C2E2 in my portfolio for people to see. It was kind of fun to show those off a little bit. I still have a few of the pages left from the story if anybody's out there and interested. But hey, pick that up if you can. I would actually say the printing on this is maybe a little bit better than it looked in the floppies, and it doesn't have any ads in the middle of it, which is cool. So, anyway, that's that. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Mateus 6119, hello. Stinker Buns, hey, thanks for signing my book at C2E2. No problem, man. You should have reminded me that that's who you were. You guys with all your names online, I don't always know who you are, but I really appreciate you coming by, man, and getting that signature. It's always fun to meet people. I had a really awesome time at C2E2. As far as like the show itself, I would say the attendance was kind of normal. And I would say my sales were kind of normal. It wasn't my best year ever, but it wasn't my worst year ever. It was just a pretty standard C2E2 fairing. But it was the first show that I had, and I should have grabbed them and bring them up here. It's the first show that I had my Prophets of Disclosure and Eris and Fantastic Four and Free Planet at. So I felt like I had a lot of really new products on the table, and that felt really good because sometimes when you're working on something for a long time, you don't really have a lot of new stuff to show when you go back to a convention. But it felt good to have, all those new things up and be able to show them off finally after having done them. The Scaredy Cat. Hey, buddy, what's up? Davey. And you know what, man? I'm gonna do this with Jimmy too. I always forget the pronunciation, but I believe it's DeFornay, right? But yeah, good to see you in here too, pal. I hope you're drawing tonight. Even if you're not, that's cool. Let me put this. Where am I gonna put this? I'll put this over here. Okay. So, I'm gonna be honest here. I took this stuff out of the bag the other day when I unpacked from the show, and I haven't looked at it yet. So I'm going to show everything here, and if I can recall who gave it to me and what our interaction was, I will. If I can't, I apologize. But hey, at least I'm going to show this stuff here on the stream. I got some cool stickers, and I'll tell you, this is the first one that I cannot remember who gave me these, but they gave me a bunch of stickers, and some of the stickers were where the wild things are, and I gave those to my daughter, and she was so pumped about it. So thank you very much. This monkey is pretty cool, and then he did another one. Oh, here it is. It's kind of like a xenomorph looking thing, And I'm into that. I like it when people draw on the envelopes and stuff too. That's cool. So it says plastic, but I don't know if that's the handle or not. It says, that here too, plastic. Anyway, these are cool. I'm not sure where I'm going to stick them yet. I have a sketchbook over there. Maybe I'll put them on there. So tabling next to me, sharing the table with me, of course, was my good friend Landis Blair. I always got to shout out Landis. Landis is a great dude and really fun to table with. But on the other side was my friend Andrea Pearson, who is a local Chicago artist and also runs a distro called Aquatic Panda. And they are awesome. And if you are an indie publisher and you're wanting to get your stuff distributed in a few more spots or have someone help you with distribution, check out Aquatic Panda Distro. They're really cool. The thing that I got from Andrea is really awesome, but I can't show much of it on the stream, and that's because it's called Yellow and Thirsty, and it is as you see 18 plus. And what it is, let me see if I can find one that's appropriate here, is like cartoon characters doing naughty things. All yellow cartoon characters, so different yellow cartoon characters, and it's pretty awesome. So if you even go to Aquatic Panda Distro, you can also pick this up, and I'm sure these are probably available at like Howling Pages here in Chicago and maybe Quimby's. Those are the usual suspects for Andrew's work. Oh, this is a meetup that my friend Greg and Fake are going to be there, but it's a meetup that my friend Johnny Sampson is putting together called the Cartoon Cabaret. Oh, the folks from Cult House Podcast came by and said hi. They were really cool. I'm going to have to add that to my checkout podcast list. Dane George, I don't know if that's how you say it. Dane was really nice. Dane came by, and I believe I looked at Dane's work, and we talked shop a little bit. So I gotta go. And Dane has a YouTube channel as well. It's just Dangerous Comics is the YouTube channel, and he does sort of top-down view stuff as well, kind of like this, where he looks at different books and stuff. I haven't had a chance to watch any yet, but I remember him telling me about it. But yeah, all you guys that came out and said hi or that were tabling at the show, it was so good to see everybody. It really was. I'm not doing many shows, and I didn't do many last year, so it's nice to see everybody and sort of exchange some creative energy with each other and really share, how things are going. What is this? All's Cherry. Eric Olksbury. I don't recall exactly what we talked about. That is a cool card, though. That's interesting. Oh yeah, Jake Baker. If you guys haven't checked out Jake Baker, his stuff is really cool. It's the Baker's Son on Instagram. Super high energy, a lot of screen tones. You can definitely see an influence of say, like Daniel Warren Johnson in his work, and maybe a little bit of anime like Lupin. But I got a chance to talk to Jake a little bit at the show. He was over in X, and Jake was really nice, awesome dude. He's the new home for the one of the Deadpool drawings I did on the stream. He has one of those. I should have done I need to do an art trade with him at some point, because I was really digging his stuff. When I finally got a chance to walk around. What I'm doing is I'm flipping people's books, looking through the portfolios, flipping pages, and I got a chance to see Jake's, and there's some really cool stuff in there. There was a really good Mad Max Fury Road one that was pretty rad. I like that. All Sorrows. This is Sean Peacock. Nice dude. Had a good little chat, talking shop. That was fun. All Sorrows at on Instagram. This guy, oh yeah, RL Black. He does these kind of like throwback style kind of posters and covers and stuff. Kind of makes him look old. Sort of interesting. Cannonball presents. This is, I think I talked to, was it Brandon that I talked to that gave me this book? I haven't looked at it yet, but it's pretty cool. I'm going to take these bookmarks out. Kind of some neat paneling in here. Cool use of gray, like the monotone. Well, I don't know the exact story because I obviously haven't read it yet, but I'm intrigued by the artwork. It kind of reminds me of indie stuff I used to read in like the 2000s as far as the style, where it kind of has a little bit of a naturalistic style mixed with sort of Sunday comic strips. I'm going to check that out. I'll read that. Let's move these somewhere else. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So here, these two things are from Davey DeForney. Yeah, I got a few things from him. This King print. He was doing these amazing fighting game characters. Scaredy Cat out there. Fighting game characters like from Tekken and all these other games. And man, they were so cool. And I was really digging on them when he was posting them. And so I got to see some of those when I was flipping his book and kind of just check out how they looked in real life, and much more impressive in real life even. They have all these brushy lines always look so much cooler when you see them in real life. And then some of the other things he was doing with the screen tones, and he used pencil up here. I'll show you in a minute. But Davey also gave me this comic that he's been working on, and man, oh man, it's cool. Check this out. Isn't that cool? And all this crazy stuff back here. The use of the screen tones on this is really good. I love the way these sort of speed lines have sort of a wobbly texture to them. So it feels it sort of reminds me of, say, like Bissett and Toddlebin's Swamp Thing, kind of the way they would do, the textured lines would also sort of be giving shade or motion to it. I'm thinking of this one specific one where like Swamp Thing's arm is moving and sort of the hatch lines sort of become these motion lines. It's pretty cool. But yeah, there's so much more, so many cool things going on in this book with the art. Lots of really nice, big, juicy line variations. Cool black and white starkness. I like the use of negative space. Oh man, this page is really cool. I saw this one in his portfolio and it was cool, but it's so much cooler with the screen tones on it. especially this little touch here with the sort of shininess on the edge of the the washing machines here. Pretty neat. But also, I'm a sucker for comics that are mostly silent, and this one is very cool. So highly recommend checking this out. Andrew Pearson, the King print is dank. Yes, it is. This is, and it's got a little concept art back here. This is really cool, man. I'm digging this. So Davy DeForn, the Scaredy Cat. Check that out. And then this is the King drawing here, or the King print. The drawing, where do I got it? Here it is. Oh yeah. So check this out. Here's the original art. I somehow convinced him to trade with me. I definitely feel like excited that I was able to do that. And it was hard to choose. There was a super awesome Iron Fist that he had as well. And my Tekken character, you guys are going to hate me for this. This is the kind of person I am. Just deal with it. My Tekken character is Eddie Gordo, all right? Don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me. But Eddie Gordo's the guy. And he had a really sick Eddie Gordo, too. But this King one is... I like all the little accents with the screen tones, and there's some like scraps of screen tones on here. And I like how chunky and juicy the line work is. And this is one of the ones I remember seeing on the feed, and I was like, oh yeah, that's looking good, man. And then I didn't know that these were pencil up here. That's really cool. So this is a nice thing. I was realizing towards the end of the show that I haven't gotten any new art in a long time. And so I was like, okay, time to break that seal again. So yeah. It's a great piece, really great piece. Really happy to have it, and a really cool poster as well. This one I'm going to put over here. I don't want to get anything on it. Oh yeah, so the Sun Brothers came by. Nothing wrong with Eddie. Thanks, man. The Sun Brothers, if you guys don't know, Brad and Wesley Sun are brothers that create comics. And they are, they've been doing it for a long time. I feel like, so I've been doing comics for a while, maybe tabling at shows since about 2009. And it wasn't long after that I started seeing these dudes at all the shows. Brad and Wesley had like all the shows. I had the privilege of hanging out with them for quite a bit once at TCAF. The one year that I went to TCAF in Toronto, they had rented a car. Or had a car there. I don't know if they drove or rented one or whatever. And so we went out to eat with them and went to an indie gaming thing with them. And they're just a good hang. Really good dudes. And they do cool work. And so they have this new book coming out from Storm King Comics, which is the John Carpenter comics line. And I'm a sucker for John Carpenter. So it's going to be kind of like a horror book. And it's written by Brad and Wesley. Usually Brad and Wesley write together, but... Brad draws everything, but this one they've just written, and then the art is by this Raulo Caceres and Ryan Wynn, and it looks really cool. It might be kind of hard to see on here, but it looks pretty crazy. There's all these like baby fetuses here with like a dead crow and like some stained glass. But this is coming out in July, which is the same month as Operation Iron Coffin. So if you haven't well, I guess you haven't had the chance to pre-order a lot of these yet, but these should be up for pre-order sometime in May, both our books. So check these guys out as well. Let's see, what's this? Oh, Max Schaller, Sword Splitter, Sword of Blood, #1. I talked to Max for a little bit, and I remember mentioning while I was flipping through this that it kind of has a little bit of an Andrew McLean vibe. But maybe slightly more alt comics, right? Which I love. I love that it's got some of these sort of hallmarks of alt comics, where it tends to lean more into the what's the word for it? Like iconographic representations of things rather than photorealistic renderings of things, and then also lots of intense line work, these continuous lines everywhere and little scribbles and stuff. It's a really neat looking book. I remember as soon as he handed it to me, I was like, oh yeah, I get with this. It's got all kinds of wild stuff. He chops this guy's head off here. Anyway, I can't remember if I had met Max previous to this, but had a nice time chatting, and I was really thankful that that he gave me this. So thanks Max, if you're out there. This is rad. I'm gonna read this for real at some point here in the near future. Guys, I have about 10 issues of Absolute Batman I gotta catch up on as well. I went to the comic book store. I felt so guilty. I feel so bad. I need to just change my pull list. I go to Challengers and I have this pull, but I never get over there. They're not very close to me, unfortunately. And so I had so many issues, and I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm here to pick them up. I will pay. I'm so sorry. Dread the Hall H. Image Comics, little kind of like anthology thing. And my buddy Jimmy Kusei is in it. And Jimmy, I'm sorry if I'm saying your last name wrong, but Jimmy Kusei, it's Kucaj. And he's a good buddy. And this is, I think, his first thing at Image. And also, this cover here is by my other friend, Maria Wolf. Maria Wolf does lots of awesome covers for Marvel. She's a riot. She's another Chicago person, and she's awesome. So check that out. But yeah, this has got kind of a horror vibe. I'm mostly... Oh, here we go. Let's look at Jimmy's. Yeah, dude. Here we go. So... And we also have art by Chris Anderson, which is another dude I know. I hung out with him at CXC, I think, a couple years ago. So yeah, Chris Anderson, Nelson, Daniel, Piotr Kowalski, and Jimmy Kusei. So it looks like there's... Yeah, so this is the one that Jimmy did. And I saw some of these originals. Sorry, let's check in the chat here. Nothing wrong with that. He rules. Picked up Sword Splitter at Emerald City, says Scaredy Cat. Stinker Bun says Kutsai. That's right, Kutsai. Yes. Dude, this looks really good in color too. I was looking at the originals and they were good, but man, this color is sort of Vladimir Popov. Man, he kind of got what to do with Jimmy's stuff. Huh, that's really nice. Jimmy's got a really awesome style. It's so expressive. There's so much energy in the lines. You know, you can see, you know, kind of a definitely like a Todd McFarlane influence, you know, in the way he likes to maximize the detail and everything, with drawing all the bricks and like all the little, you know, these little things. Let me see if I can. It's just like a little bit bigger. No. Okay, sorry guys. This is the best we're going to do tonight. Anyway, it's really great stuff, and he's really been doing things like pushing the perspective and kind of adding a lot of... like the thing that Jimmy gets is that the environment has to be a part of the action and a part of the storytelling as well. You see a lot of people avoid backgrounds, but it's a missed opportunity to kind of add another layer to what the storytelling is, not just to fill in space, but like every time you include, you know, stuff like this, where you've got this crazy shot and this like wild perspective, it just adds a little bit extra drama there that wouldn't be there if you hadn't taken the time to do that. And so Jimmy gets that. And there's some really nice stuff here. Check this guy. Check that out. The old grid, man. The old stuff works. Check out that dice roll. Look at him go. That's really nice. Very cool stuff, Jimmy. And thanks for giving me a copy of it. I need to read it still, but very cool stuff. Jimmy rules. All right. Last thing I have here, and I'll draw a little cable. Oh, Stinker Buns. Oh, you got the Pitch Black piece. Oh man. Okay, so if you guys aren't following Jimmy Kutsai, you need to go to his Instagram and follow him. And there is this Pitch Black piece he did. So the Riddick movies with Vin Diesel. It's awesome. It is so good. I'm so jealous of you that you got that piece, man, because that is like that's a really nice piece. It's a really nice piece. So the other thing that was going on was uh, there's a city here in Chicago called Hoffman Estates, and they're sister cities, which means they sort of have a cultural sharing program established with Angoulême, France, which is where the huge comic festival is. So sometimes they will bring people from here to Angoulême, or people from Angoulême here. So there was a young French comic artist that was here, and this is going to be a drag because I cannot remember his name. I met him once. He did a studio visit with my friend Landis. They came to my studio to kind of just chat and talk shop. But he was also at C2E2, and he gave me this print that he did of pixel art of these different kind of female heroines in different movies and stuff. And it's really cool. He's got like, you know, Ripley and like The Bride and, you know, the Resident Evil and Trinity and all these people. It's pretty awesome. It's a pretty cool little piece. So it's a print. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything I got at the show, other than lots of really great conversations. It really was nice to see everybody and get to talk shop and share new work that we'd all been working on. And really nice to meet some fans, you know, people that, you know, the thing that's been new for me, you know, just to kind of pull back the veil a little bit here, I guess, is like, you know, it's only recently that I've had people coming to my table with books they already had of mine to get signed, you know, like basically, you know, that kind of thing that happens mostly. You have to be, you know, when you're published, that's more likely to happen, right? And so that's been really cool, you know. I'm trying not to, you know, you got to live in the moment of it, right? It was cool to have people come up and be like, hey, I bought your comic, whatever it was, the Schlub or Fantastic Four, and I thought it was great. Because also at a hometown show, I do see a lot of people that I just know, right? And so it's nice when it's not people I know, and when it's, you know, somebody who maybe has just discovered my work or something. So those kind of opportunities are really nice as well, and very thankful for those times that people can meet me and I can meet them. So yeah, I'm going to do this quick cable here. I haven't decided what I'm doing in the background. The scale of this paper is all weird. I thought it was 6x9, but it's not. So I'm just like, well, I'll draw a cable on it then. Because why not? It's always good time for cable. But he's real tiny, and I know that might be hard to read right now. I was trying to zoom my thing in, but I think I'm having some errors because I didn't update my software. Sorry, guys. This is what we're going to roll with for now. Happy Tuesday, everybody, says Greg Parker. It is a good Tuesday, guys. Even though I've got this tiny drawing that I'm going to make you guys all suffer through not being able to see. I'll show you a little. I have the worst setup, y'all, you know, and I'm sorry about that. But it is what it is. I will post it if I finish it tonight, which, you know, I really want this to be a quick one because I've been kind of in the weeds on details all day on Iron Coffin page, and I'm kind of like wanting something that feels a little like I want to get my looseness back. I started working and I felt really loose, but by the end of the day, it's like you kind of like you start to tighten up a little bit sometimes, or at least I do. But yeah, thanks again for anyone who came by and said hi. I hope everyone enjoyed the show. If you were there, what did you think of it? Was there anything that stood out as extra rad or? Oh, I also was on a panel. I forgot to mention. Don Cardenas, who does the Comics Coffee Metal podcast, he had me and a bunch of other awesome dudes do a comics and metal panel at C2E2. So we basically talked about what comics we liked and what metal we liked. It was like a really chill, fun panel. Yeah, I had a really good time doing it, and it was nice of Don to put it all together. So what I'm going to try to do here, since it's so small, is at least try to be a nice solid shapes to kind of make it a little easier to see from a distance here. But the panel was cool. I was, the only thing that was silly to me is that, you know, one of the questions was about like what comics have you done that have, you know, something to do with metal. And I mentioned Weed Priests, and I mentioned my cover for Dan's books, but then like people came to my table like, hey, do you have those books? I'm like, oh no, I don't have any of those with me. Because those books are long gone, and I didn't think to tell people that when they actually was on the stage talking about it. I don't like those lines I have there. I'm trying to think what else interesting was at the show. My aisle was stacked though. It had Davey, it had Jimmy, it had Andrea. It had a bunch of great people, and then the other side of the row was like the old school greats. It had like Klaus Janson and Eric Canetti, who's somebody that I've always, you know, liked, his weird ways of drawing. He's morphed so many times, but he's always interesting. I didn't talk to any of those guys this time. I had met Eric once at Heroes. He bought some schlub stuff from me. But yeah, he was pretty busy most of the time. At least the times he was at his table, he seemed pretty busy. There was, I guess Simon Bisley or Bisley was there, but I didn't get a chance to go talk to him. I heard he was an interesting wild hang, which is cool. His art is awesome, man. It's always been one that I liked ever since I was a kid. The first time I saw Simon Bisley like Lobo, it was just like, what is this? You know, comics can look like this. This is crazy. We'll see how this one goes, y'all. Something about these shoulder pads is bothering me. Oh, and of course, Kenny was in town, the writer of The Schlub and also the writer of Iron Coffin. So I got to hang out with Kenny, which is always great. Kenny is a good buddy and obviously my collaborator, but we don't live in the same state, so it's not like we get to hang in person very much. But he is a good hang. He's a very good dude. I'm very lucky to be working with him. And I had the chance to also have dinner with Chris Condon, who's an awesome dude, a fellow Toby Hooper apologist. Scaredy Cat says, I still think a trade of all your original mini comics collected would be sick. I'd back that Kickstarter if you did one. Well, you know, that's exactly what I'm planning to do. So you are gonna get it. It will happen. I'm definitely gonna do it. I just haven't figured out the exact dates yet. It'll either be the end of this year or maybe the beginning of next year. It'll kind of depend on my work schedule. But my plan is that if I have some spare time after I finish Iron Coffin, I might try to put that together then. If I don't have any spare time, like if I have a gig, which would be awesome, I will probably have to make it wait a little bit. But so I guess if I don't get to do it right away, it's because I have a job, which is good. If I do get to do it right away, I mean, I guess that's good news, but it means I probably don't have a gig. But anyway, yes, man. And what I'm going to do, I'll just tell you all right now. I'm going to collect all my mini comics that I've done sort of like since I started doing the Inktober stuff, which there's a lot. I'm sure some people maybe don't even remember because I started doing the Inktobers in 2010. And I think that some of those, you guys will recognize, like IDKFA and Game Over Man and some of those. And then I would like to also include my like Xtober and Horrortober drawings. And then I will also be including my first ever mini comic that I did in college called Simon. Just maybe the first issue of that, because I did a bunch of those. I'm not going to include all of them, but and then I might do some other stuff. Like I do have I did an interview in the Comics Journal, and I've been given permission to republish that, so I might include that in there as well. And who knows, just like maybe even some commissions, like some of my smaller 6x9 commissions, because those would fit kind of the format very well. So that's sort of what I'm thinking, and you guys can expect if you're interested in that. And then the last thing it will for sure have is, and that's the other thing that will maybe slow it down depending on my time, is Weed Priest had a sequel called Ascend, and I kind of see it as I'm going to have a third installment in that sort of series, Weed Priest and Ascend, and then the new one, and I will include that, and it will be the first time that would be in print, because I haven't made it yet. So it would have a brand new story based in that sort of world of Weed Priest. So that's the tentative plan. I mean, things might change, and I'll see what I can get away with, but I would be hoping to do that in the fall, maybe, kind of like the time frame I did my last Kickstarter. So I'll either do it on Kickstarter or a pre-order kind of deal on my website, something like that. Because I was realizing that's a lot of pages of comics, because I've done quite a few. The other difference would be is that this will be all in black and white. I'm going to go with like a tankobon kind of manga style to it. And so some of the ones that have color, like Ascend, it'll be printed as a black and white version, because I just don't think the color's going to, I could look into it, but I think it would be a little bit more cost prohibitive, and also it might be nice to just see it in a different way for the collection. So there's color in that one, and then there's color in my Inktober from 2018. But I bet I could make them both work in gray tones. I'm just jibber jabbering now. What's the page count looking like? Well, geez, let me think. 12. I mean, it's basically, wow. I couldn't even guess. It'd be over 100 for sure. It'd be over 100, because some of my Inktober's are 30 pages long, and some of them are 12 pages long, and then there's covers in there too. And then if I included those other things, yeah, it would be. I'm imagining it being fairly thick, because I'd like it to feel, fairly substantial and look nice on the shelf, so that you can just easily grab it and read it instead of having to dig up. As much as I love all the original minis, I understand that digging out mini comics is not always everyone's favorite thing to do. I kind of do it on the stream to force myself to do it, like when I pull those out, because it's not the thing you're going to do. Whereas if it can be on your shelf, you can pick it up whenever you want and look at it. I'm also done with just, I'm going to keep making mini comics, but those ones that are already done, I don't really want to keep reprinting them individually anymore. I think that those can be collector's items now or something, because I would rather work on some reprinting, printing new stuff if I'm gonna do new mini comics, and then maybe do another collection down the line with those. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of goofy. I don't know if it's 100% great right now, but this is silly. This is a silly drawing. I like it. Yeah, that's something. Okay, I think what it needs is whatever this original plan was back here. Cable. And then that needs like cropped right there. All right, let's erase and see it smudge. He's ready to pre-order. Thanks, man. Yeah, Greg, I'll probably try to put some commissions in it, like some of the small commissions. I don't think I want to put the big ones in that format, but the 6x9s I do, which I've done quite a few of those that I'm really happy with. I'd like to include some of those, and then all the X-Men ones were that size too. So man, it's gonna be really big. Now that I think about it, I gotta start pricing that out when I get a chance. Oh, and it'll have painted edges. Absolutely. Okay, let's erase this and see if we can do something to just make it look a little more acceptable, and then we will call it. And I have an idea already, and you guessed it, it's to put some zip tones on it, so whoopsie. Okay, the question is, do I also want needs more cowbell. No joke, bro. All right. I think I'm just gonna go with solid shapes, but I want them to be a little bit sharper. Maybe not too sharp, but right now it just looks a little blobby. Yeah, I hadn't been on a panel in a minute. I used to be in charge of the, I used to coordinate the programming for Cake, which was really fun. And I would have to, I would participate in a lot of the panels. And that was really fun, but it had been a minute, so I don't mind doing them. I like getting up there and chatting with people about talking shop and stuff, as you all might have guessed. Oh, the other thing I'd mention is signed a lot of comics for my buddies Colton and Christian. They do a comic called we call them Myths, which I've showed before on here because I did a cover for them. And so the alternate cover. So a lot of people were buying it and then they were sending them my way to sign them. But it was really good to see those guys. They're both really cool. Colton's a Chicago guy. Christian is, oh boy, I'm forgetting where. The South or somewhere, I think. I could be wrong. I feel like it's southeast of where I'm at. Anyway, it's good to see those guys. Their work is pretty awesome as well. I don't have any of their stuff right in front of me, unfortunately, but I know I've showed it before. All right, we're just fixing up some edges here, and then I'm gonna put some zips on here, and we're gonna see if that makes some magic happen. Any new pens or materials you've started using or excited about? Excuse me, guys. Sorry. This weather's got me a little phlegmy. Anyway, yeah, actually, I don't know if excited is the word, but just like interesting, I guess, is I have been using a different kind of paper on Iron Coffin. The paper I'm used to using, which is Strathmore 500 series plate surface, which is always been my favorite for a while now. Dan got me hooked on it, which is a drag because it's really expensive. But beyond it being expensive, I believe it's been discontinued. And so I've been having a hard time finding it. And even when I do find it, it's really expensive, or it's expensive and damaged because it's stored so poorly. And so I was like, you know what? It's time for me to get a new paper. So on the recommendation of my buddy Jay and my buddy Dave, I started using Eon paper, E-O-N. And they just basically do comic book paper. And they have a few different options. They sent me a sampler, and I picked the HD 120 that they do with a smooth surface. And so that's what I've been drawing Iron Coffin on. And if I had those pages here and I could show you, I would kind of explain why I like it or don't like it or whatever. I mean, I do like it. But it's basically a lot heavier weight than the Strathmore 500 series. And so it doesn't buckle as much when you do a lot of ink, which is nice. And also the ink from my brush pens soaks in a lot faster on it. And so I have less of the problem of smudging it the way I'm always doing on the stream here because I erase so fast. It dries a lot faster, and so I just don't end up smudging it as much. And the only thing that I would say I still like much better about the plate surface, which I can live with, is that I can, with my brush pens, get pretty sharp lines, but I can't really get that sharpness with the brush pens on the HD 120. I mean, I can get it pretty close. So I've been using my microns, my small microns more, just to sharpen up edges, kind of like I'm doing now. But this is oh yeah, because this is the HD 120 paper. This is just a piece that I cut down. So there you go. That's exactly why I'm using this, to do these sharpening edges here. So I've kind of been using this as another way to have a pass at it, to do these sharpened edges. But it's encouraging me to add a few more little kind of delicate lines on some of the Iron Coffin stuff to break up some of the larger black shapes. And I think it's been a net positive. I'd recommend the paper, and it's a lot cheaper. And I was like, I just need a good paper, and I need to buy like 100 pages, because I have to draw 100 pages of this comic. So that was sort of my logic, and so far it's been working out great. Maybe at the end of it I'll do some kind of post about it or something and let them know this is good paper. Okay, we're gonna see if we can magic this up now. Oh man, yeah, that was my neck. It does that. Let's see. I've been seeing a lot of screen tones out there, y'all. I know that everybody's kind of been jamming them, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I sure enjoy playing with them. If I had more time and money, you know, like if I could just spend more time on my pages, more money on my pages, I would absolutely just do screen tones on a like maybe a specific project on every page. I have a project in mind like that, but I would need people to pay me to do it. Like maybe, I don't know. I've been toying around with this idea too, of just doing a subscription comic, but I don't know. I don't know if that would work or not, but where people just give me money and I give them the comic. You know, digital only, of course, at first, but then maybe like as time goes on, you could print them up. That's the kind of project you could do it with. We'll see. We'll see where we end up. I mentioned on my last stream I've been having some shoulder issues, which I don't think are work related. I think it's an injury that I had in December. And so it has affected me in the sense that I'm in pain quite a bit, but I've still been able to work. So but I've been having to do PT every day, and it's good because it gets me up from the desk too, but you know, I do about an hour of it every day, and it's a lot. I'll live though. Something's always hurting, right? I don't know why I'm even trimming off these little bits, but I am. Any pet peeves with people asking for signatures? Nah, man. I mean, if you put down a stack of like 50 books or something that you're obviously flipping, that's kind of annoying. But that hasn't really happened to me. But I've seen that happen. And that's why bigger artists have to make those rules. And I understand that. But nah, everyone who's asked me for a signature, I'm cool to do it. Especially if they paid for the book, you know? I mean, whether they bought it from me or somewhere else, I mean, the least I can do is sign it for them. I say that now. If my situation changes, you know, who knows? But I don't think that I'm ever going to have a problem with it. Also, just be conscious of who's around you is the other thing. Like, sometimes people, I'm fine giving people time, but if there's other people hanging out that want to chat or buy something or, you know, take your time with me talking and then get out of the way. But honestly, I've only mostly had good interactions with people at shows, so, you know, nothing that stood out as like awful. I think I'm gonna color in this part black. Ooh, maybe not. Let's see what happens. Let's be open to the possibilities here. It's probably 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, huh? This is barely readable, but I don't mind. I like it. You know who it is. Everybody knows who this is. It's Cable, man. What are you talking about? See, the other secret reason that Cable's great is that even his name is cool to write. Got to put the kids to bed. All right, I understand that, buddy. You have a great night. Mr. Greg Parker. All right, we're zeroing in on it though here. I watched this movie called The Void last night. It's like a horror movie. It's pretty fun. Recommend it. It's got practical effects and whatnot. It's by the guy who did Psycho Goreman and Frankie Frico. Also, if you guys have not checked out the last Aesop Rock album and also the new Lice album, which is Aesop Rock and Homeboy Sandman, that stuff is good. That stuff is very good. Definitely recommend checking that out if you're into hip hop at all. Alright, I just had an idea. We're gonna do it because why not? I forgot about my Poscas. They still have a little bit of juice left in these, so. I don't know if this pink is going to work good with this, but we'll try it. Just kind of thinking, well. Yeah, it's kind of alright. Oh yeah, there we go. I like how that's hitting on that edge of the gun there. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's get a white here. Oh, those are big old fat wet drops of paint there. I think I overdid it there. That's kind of silly. I don't know if that even needs much more. Maybe just nah, I think that's about it. Cable. I'm gonna have to cut that off. Let me get some scissors. I'm just gonna do with scissors. That's how low rent I am today. I don't want to pull my cutting board up here. So, again, Operation Iron Coffin will be out in July. Pre-order's not ready yet. I really hope you guys will check it out. Let me cut this here. Let's just eyeball it. What do you say? These aren't even good scissors. Yeah, there we go. You know what? I gotta fidget like with one more thing. I just have to. I have to do something about this. And I have to do something about this up here. It's just not working for me like that. Yeah, that's better. There we go. All right, folks. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the like button, all that stuff. That would be awesome. So that we can get more people here hanging out and talking art. Enjoy your evenings. And again, thank you to everyone who came out to C2E2.